This is our newest Ferrari flip car. Now I had $83,000 to spend and I'm walking away with a $2,500 Audi S4. Go figure. I'm just not ready to spend $83,000 when prices are changing so much. Let's hope it starts up now. Here, hop in. Don't mind the glove box or the dirty napkins. This thing is a gem, a real gem.
You can have this one. He's a real gem.
Hopefully it starts. Hopefully it shifts smoothly. Knowing these trucks, there's probably a misfire and a bad transmission. Good luck. This car gets worse the more I look at it. Just hit on every corner, and it is paint fade and dented and dinged and cracked, and the top doesn't work. That's a bummer, but that right there is my winner for the day. Hey, welcome to flipping $400 into a Ferrari. This is our latest project car, probably one of our most recent mistakes. If you caught last week's video, we bought this 2006 Audi S4 Quattro convertible with a 6-speed transmission at a dealer auction for $2,500. What was really cool was I started bidding on it at $1,200, which is just an offer I can't refuse. I felt like that was a pretty good impression. So this car started at $1,200. I got caught up in the bidding action. I got into a bidding war. I ended up paying $2,200 for it, plus auction fees. I own this car for about $2,500 for an Audi S4. That's unbelievable. Is it? Because it could cost more than that in repairs if I bought it wrong. Did I? I think so. Now the thing with buying cars that cheap is I bought it sight unseen. I heard the price, I raised my hand, and then I got into a bidding war on a car that I hadn't even looked at. All I know, it might have barely ran through the auction. I raised my hand as it started to leave the auction garage, like the, you know, whatever you call that, the auction block. So as it was leaving, I ran up to it, and I swear, I didn't see a check engine light. I went out to the car, and guess what? Not only was there a check engine light kind of hidden up in this corner on, it was flashing. Random cylinder, multiple cylinder, misfire, which is a pretty big deal, especially for an Audi. Now I'm still finding out plenty of other problems. Even with the key out and the door open, the power should be off, right? Well, this car has a dead battery every time I get in it, and I think I'm figuring out why. Why is the radio still on even though the key is off and the power is off? I can't, nothing's happening here. Nothing is shutting off. We still have full access and power to the radio, even though the key is in my hand and the door is open. We also have a pretty big crack up this windshield right here, which is fine. I can fix that pretty simply. The biggest problem though, I bought a convertible going into winter that doesn't work. When I push the convertible top button, it says, please lower storage box. So if I lower the storage box, which is right here, it then tells me, please close boot. Now I got a lot of slack because I didn't know what a boot was. Rasul, you come from Europe, okay? Yep. A trunk is in the back, a hood is in the front. Yep. This is a roof. What is a boot?
I have no idea.
Really? I'm so happy you said that. Okay, a bonnet, a boot.
Boot.
It's more like a British thing, I think. Probably Australian, I don't know. You guys, where's that actually from? I'm pretty sure it's British. So boot is the back. It says closed boot, but guess what? Boot is closed. So in today's video, we're gonna figure out how bad our $2,500 Audi S4 really is. I mean, it is a Quattro, so forget that it's a convertible. If we can get this thing running, it could be a really fun winter car, and it is still very sellable because it is an all-wheel drive car going into winter. Forget the convertible part. We are gonna try to bring this thing back to life, and we're gonna try to figure out all the quirks. Hopefully, we're gonna try to figure out the misfire. We're gonna try to figure out the roof. We're gonna clean these headlights up, clean the body up, and make this thing sellable, and then hopefully try to make a profit on it as well. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. You guys are gonna join me on this episode. Let's get going. All right, so Rasul, we have all kinds of problems with this Audi S4. We kind of know what we're getting into. Now it's been sitting here for a few weeks since the video aired, like we bought it weeks and weeks ago, and I just recently aired episode 1. This is episode 2. You have already done a lot to this car since I bought it. What have you done already?
In detail, we use compound and polished. So far, that's it.
There has been more than that. Okay, so he used a rubbing compound on the exterior, which brought a lot of this exterior back to life, but it's been sitting since then, so it still looks kind of dirty. He also used a polisher on it as well, so we brought a lot of the paint back to life. It is still, I mean, we have clear coat faded up here. Next, we are going to do the headlights. So we're gonna do a headlight restoration next. We've also done an interior detail. So this car came out awesome. But before I show you how the interior actually came out, back to the Audi S4, you'll see we've made some changes since the last clip. Dave has come across a few certain things as to why this could possibly be running the way it's running. Really, really terribly. Dave, what'd you come up with?
I took the plugs out and they are nasty.
Whoa, look at this plug. Look at that. Okay, now, another promising thing. If you look here, those are Audi Volkswagen plugs. These could potentially be the original plugs in this car, which if that's the case, it has 100,000 miles. I mean, it's probable that they could be the original. Usually plugs go 100,000. A plug replacement might make all the difference. But the plugs are out, the coils are out. We might as well go one step further, which is look into the cylinders. How do you look into the cylinders, Dave?
Use a borescope.
You use a borescope. Something everybody should have. They're really not that expensive. I mean, everybody that works on their own stuff, whether it's HVAC repair, construction, you wanna do home inspections, get in those little hard to reach places, or even look into cylinders, a borescope is an absolute must. Do we have a borescope? Yes, we do have a borescope. Thanks to Teslong. Teslong provided us with this borescope right here. Dave, let me kind of just show what a borescope is because it really is so simple. Now you'll see this screen right here. What the heck is going on? Oh, there's a cap on here. I'm gonna remove the cap. This is a camera. Watch this. That's Dave's face right there. Now I can actually move this thing. Watch this, ready? I can move it around via this remote control right here. So I'm gonna stick this in the cylinders. I'm gonna inspect all 8 cylinders just so we can get an idea of what it looks like inside there. I'm sure it's built up with tons of carbon. A little difficult because I'm a righty. Come right here. Go up to that cylinder. What's nice too is it's lit up so you can see inside that cylinder. And as we stick the camera in there, now let's look at this. We can actually get a good look. Like that's the top of the piston right there. You can see the cylinder wall right there. I can actually turn it to inspect everything. Let me turn it like that. Oh, that's a perfect shot. That's the spark plug wall right there. We'll go in here. That looks pretty good. Right? Carbon buildup, but we can take care of that. And we can go into every cylinder. Like, look how simple this is. I can go right into the cylinder and then we can inspect. Now that cylinder looks like it's at top dead center. So yeah, just carbon buildup, but nothing that I can find any scoring or any. Oh, look at, that's perfect. All right, check out all that carbon buildup on the cylinder. Let's go into the last one. Yeah, just some junk on the cylinder wall, on the piston. That is how handy having a borescope, a camera is. I mean, this thing, again, this is my favorite part, ready? Everyone should have them. They are very affordable. If you want one, you can check the link in my description down below to get one for yourself. Gift ideas for a friend or a family member or a significant other if your wife is into these things, or your husband, if you're a woman watching this video, which is very rare, your husband does this stuff. Awesome gift idea if you want to get him or her one. Another use for this, I have some guns. I'm not like a gun aficionado. Right down the rifle barrel. You can inspect your rifle barrel with it as well. So it's like, there's so many uses for it. Okay, so 5-inch screen, waterproof cable, micro SD card so you can actually record the video and then upload it onto your computer, and USB-C charging with a 3000 megahertz battery. If you're interested in this product, there is a direct link in the description down below. The first line, you can click on it using the coupon code right on the screen right here for a discount on this Teslong Borescope. Awesome product. I would highly recommend it, and you just saw how useful it was. Thank you, Teslong, for sponsoring this video. Thank you to you guys for watching these videos and help supporting our sponsors, because our sponsors support us, you support them. It's like people helping people. It just works in a triangle. So thank you, Teslong. Thank you, you guys. Let's fix this Audi. All right, so now that we kind of have an idea, there's a ton of carbon buildup on top of the pistons. We're gonna do new plugs, and we should probably do like a carbon clean out. So some type of, I don't know, it's probably, I bet there's something specific to Audis that we should research before doing that, but some seafoam or something, just blow everything right out. Also has like a lifelong air filter. Look at how nasty this thing is. These are the ones you clean yourself. I don't even know how we would clean this. Is it worth just getting a new air filter? Tossing this thing?
I would, yeah.
That is disgusting. It sounds way better already. Is the check engine light flashing?
Nope, just on.
Wow. All right, let's try to remove those carbon deposits, and then maybe we got really lucky. I'm gonna try some motor treatment that cleans injectors, cleans carb jets, stabilizes fuel, controls moisture in fuels, quiets noisy lifters, cleans deposits, adds lubricity fuel, lubes upper cylinders. I'm gonna try this stuff out. Let's see how it works. The car sounds so much better now. Hour and a half. We'll rerun it, clear all the lights out, put the airbox back on, plug in the MAF, and maybe we got lucky. I mean, that never happens, especially with Audi, but maybe. Now there you go, hopefully burning everything off or keeping a steady RPM. We're gonna let it sit for an hour and a half while it burns off some more of the carbon deposits, and then we're gonna let it idle for 2 minutes, and then we're gonna rev the engine again to this temperature to blow off all the carbon. You have to be careful because you don't want to use too much and you don't want to hydrolock your engine. You also don't want to break off some carbon and then get it stuck in your valves as well. Be careful using this stuff for any type of motor treatment. For now, let's clean the headlights. Now for headlight restoration, you can see how foggy these things are. They're faded, they're hazy. What I typically start with is a heavy grit sandpaper is like an 80, 220, 320. I don't go that heavy. Heavy like an 800 grit sandpaper. Wet sand the headlights. So I'm gonna keep it wet the whole time, and you're gonna start to see this turn yellow. So let's start with an 800 and get this sanded by hand. All right, it's been less than a minute probably of you wet sanding, right?
Yep.
Let me just step aside for 1 sec. I want to show the haze that's already coming off, right? This is like sun fade. This is what oxidation happens to your headlights. You can see how much is running off. Now let me see that real quick. All right, so you're using like a pretty heavy sanding block, which is fine. You wrap this around this and then you can use this. If you don't have a heavy sanding block, you can also use, like this is just a Bondo putty knife. You can wrap it around this and then go like that as well. So we're gonna use lots of water, keep it wet all the time, just like your girlfriend, and then big circles. So I'm just gonna keep doing this until it stops turning color, all right? It'll go from like a brown or a green or like a yellow to like a white clear. And if you come in here, zoom in close, you can actually see it as I go. It'll start to change color or consistency, but you just have to keep doing this, a lot of it, until it finally turns white. Keep it wet too, so you can wash it off, so you're not consistently wet sanding the same stuff over each other. Come in closer, you can already see how much cleaner it's getting here versus right there. Now I held out on you because this isn't something everybody has, but you can buy these little things. This is a headlight sanding tool. You can buy them like every hardware or parts store. I have this as well. They're expensive. Buying sheets of sandpaper costs like a couple bucks. These are pretty like $30, $40 to get like a headlight sanding kit. So if you're only using it once, it's probably worth it. Or like I reuse this section all the time, but it comes with multiple grits. It comes with like 500, 800, 1,000, 1,500 grit and the compounds and the pads to go as well. And it just makes it so much easier labor-wise. So now I can use the gun to do all the heavy lifting for me. And I can just let it do this. So I want you to do it by hand because I want you to see how I started doing it. Now there is a step we skipped and it wasn't intentional, and it's probably because I'm like the biggest hack on YouTube. I forgot to tell you this. We should have taped all of this, okay? It's sandpaper touching painted objects. I think the reason is obvious. I don't want to be wearing down at high revolutions per minute paint on the bumpers or the fenders. So it's kind of a big deal. So ultimately you want to be taping and masking off all your corners as you're doing this. For now, I'm going to try to not touch my bumpers and just show you the difference. Like you can see how much faster this goes by when the machine does it versus my hand.
Do you press it or you
Put pressure on it?
Yeah,
That's a good question. I let the drill do all the work. There's no need to muscle it. Plus, this is spongy, so me putting pressure on it doesn't do much anyway. So this is the final coat at the 500 grit, and you can see the reason I'm keeping it wet the whole time is otherwise I'd just be creating a paste. Like the hazing, the oxidation, along with the water will just start to build up and you're really just spinning oxidation together. So keep spraying it, keep it wet. And this is what the finished product will look like with a 500 grit. Now, just as a reminder, this is what they looked like. This is what this looks like after just a wet sanding with 500 grit. I'm going to repeat the process with 800, 1,000, and 1,500. Then we're gonna do a rubbing compound and then a polish, and it should look great. I have to give it to YouTube because there were some YouTube mechanics that give you their tips and tricks. Like that's how I started. I learned a lot about this car already just from YouTubing some things. So I'm gonna give the credit to Book's World on YouTube. Pop the fuse panel open. There is a tool right here. Check this tool out. Pull this tool out, you unscrew this, right? Right there. Now watch this. We are then going to remove the center console, or where you would put your golf clubs or your skis, and then you'll see right here is a little hole. See that hole right there? I am going to put this screwdriver in this hole. I can't do this while holding the camera, so I'm just gonna show you. So this loosens, right? I'm gonna put this in the hole. I'm gonna tighten this until it clicks. That locks the tool in, and then you can actually loosen everything or tighten it to open or close the boot and release the top. So I'm gonna try that, and then I'll show you in the next step how it worked. So it fit in that hole perfectly. I'm gonna now tighten this until it clicks, and then I can turn this clockwise or counterclockwise, which released the boot. Just released it. Rasul just asked me, does this mean we did too much? See how it's turning white and cloudy? That's exactly how you want it to look. So with this headlight dry, I'm gonna use a rubbing compound on your white cloudy headlight. So it's the end of the night. I'm gonna show you what this looks like. I'm jumping back and forth between jobs, between the roof while the headlights are getting done. I'm gonna polish this one headlight so you know exactly what we're doing, and you can do the other one tomorrow. So now I have a really heavy cut rubbing compound that I'm gonna put on the headlights. You don't need a ton of it. Now with rubbing compounds and polishers, like an actual buffer like we use to buff cars has a higher range of speed than a drill. Your drill isn't gonna go as fast, which doesn't create as much heat. The heat actually melts a lot. That will kind of make it, that's where you get your polish from. So using a high speed buffer will actually be better than your drill. A lot of the stuff I use is to show you how you can do it at home. So yes, we have the correct tools, but not everybody has the correct tools. So that's why I'm showing you how you can do it with a drill or with your hands or whatever. So we applied the rubbing compound. Before I just hit the drill, I'm gonna rub this all over, because if I just turn the drill on, you can get spatter everywhere like the person holding the camera did. Now again, we didn't tape this side, we did tape the other side. So we'll show you at the end the difference between the two of not taping, doing it the wrong way, versus doing it the right way with our other headlight. Now I'm gonna wipe it off, and that's just with a rubbing compound. And now we're gonna try it with a polish, and then you'll see the finished product. Okay, so whether you're using a large polisher buffer, like a high-speed polisher and buffer, or just a drill with an attachment, the pads are the same. So a coarse foam pad will be your rubbing compound, and then a polishing pad will be for your polish. Again, whether it's for a full size or for a miniature polisher. This is what we're gonna do now. We're just gonna put some polish on it, and then you'll see the final result. Put it on everywhere. Spin the gun this way so it doesn't get all over the car. Normally you'll be able to polish right off the headlight and you'll get a finished product like that right there. But because you can still see there's moisture on here, the polish got wet, so we can just wipe this off, but the job is done. There's our finished headlight. That is, oh man, I wanted to do it before and an after. Well, it's the next day and I just finished the auction, bought a 2012 GMC Yukon XL and that Subaru Legacy thing right there. Let's check on this Audi because Rasul's been on it all day. Still sounds a little sputter, but it looks damn good. Look, I can see him smiling in there. He's happy with it. Let's check out these headlights. Yes, yes. That headlight number one, that headlight number two. I did headlight number one. He did headlight number two. Headlight number two looks better than headlight number one. Turn those lights on. There we go. Oh, heck yeah. And the paint looks great all the way around. So Rasul, you did a compound and a polish on this? Yeah, and a cleaner wax. It looks phenomenal. There's actually metallic to it too. It's not just black. Wow, this car came out great. One thing though, wax on the roof. That's gonna be a pain to get off. So the car is becoming presentable. We just have to make it usable now. Good job, Rasul. All right, these wheels. Wait, what did you just say to me?
I use wheel acid, and after the rest sponge we have goes inside the rims, and it made it clean.
Yeah.
If I spend more time, I can make 100% clean.
Nice. And then we can just touch up. We'll grind down these areas, and I'll just like blend some silver onto the edges. It's gonna come out pretty nice, actually. This paint is awesome. On a different note, shout out to Audi of Stratum because my 88L, I just picked it up. This car came from Texas. Love this car, 101,000 miles. It is just one of my most favorite cars. I had one last winter, loved it, sold it, bought another one. This car had no heat. I took it to them, they did $5,000 in recall warranty work for free and replaced the water pump for me. They charged me for that. Now I have heat and I have my A8L back too. This car's awesome. So as a loaner car, I was given this 2021 Audi A4, and I have to say, I love it. I'm getting 31 miles to the gallon. I've used it for 2 weeks. Actually, my wife's used it for 2 weeks. It's been incredible. This car is comfortable. It's quick, not fast like my A8L is crazy, ballsy, head thrown in the seat back. This isn't that. It is crazy quick. That turbo spools up and it just goes. And I'm getting great gas mileage and it's comfortable, and it has like nice options like heated seat and Bluetooth and obviously everything else. This is a really awesome car, and it was free for 2 weeks. I say free, but not really. I did $7,000 worth of warranty work and services that I paid for as well. So I would say it was worth it on both sides. So this is my loaner car that I got to use for 2 weeks, and it has been incredible for me. I've enjoyed it. I've got to use it. It comes registered and inspected, and it didn't cost me anything besides what it cost me for repairs on my other car. All right, and we are here, best of both worlds, Audi and Porsche. Whoa. New S8. That is unreal. This actually has trays that pop up in the back seats like an airplane right there. Really cool. Fun fact, this car has the same engine as mine, which also shares the engine with the Lamborghini Urus. Only difference is the tune and downpipes. And then check out this RS7, which is unreal as well. The window sticker of 147,000, add market adjustment 157,000. Wow. Also 4-liter twin turbo. And then here's the Audi e-tron GT, which is the sister car to the Porsche Taycan. Wow. And here we are in my A3 S line, which is actually a really good looking car, and it's fun to drive. This car, I stole it. It has 79,000 miles, but it had what felt like a slipping transmission and a misfire. So I brought it right to the dealer. Shout out to Audi of Stratham in New Hampshire, because they always treat me well. They took care of me on my A8L. They're the ones that looked at the R8 for me, and then they took care of this one. Transmission service, some plugs, we're good to go. And while we're here, I looked at the other cars they have, and then the Porsche dealer next door has a Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo, which is their EV wagon. Car is unreal. I just want to drive by it because I want one. I want one so bad. I don't actually see it. I wonder if they already sold it. It's not even here anymore. Probably a good thing, because I don't need to be buying a Cross Turismo for $150,000. So this Audi is still misfiring because it needs plugs, which we're going to do at our shop. I didn't realize it was this bad, so bad that my voice is vibrating as we drive. One of the cool things about Audi though is if it's misfiring or senses a misfire, it shuts that cylinder down completely, so it's not pumping fuel from the fuel injector into a dead cylinder. So we are running on 3 cylinders right now. Do it again, ready? Well, it's Audi day. You can see there's the S3 right there. It's going in for spark plugs, coils, rear brake pads, synthetic oil change. And from what the Audi dealer says, we should be all set, because this thing is running rough and it feels like the transmission's slipping because it's running rough. This, my baby right here, my car that shares the same engine as a Lamborghini Urus, getting clean today. Unfortunately, I have a buyer interested in this thing, so he wants to come out and look at it, so we're gonna wash this. And then after that, my Audi S4 that's covered in snow, I'm told is running great. So we're gonna try to figure out the top. I think I might paint the hood and then call it a day. Plugs on the A3 don't actually look that bad. I mean, they're dark and the points are missing, but they don't look as bad as the S4 did, at least. And again, despite the giant face and all, this car is so nice. The interior is amazing. Now, I had the same car last year in brown. I liked the brown more than the black, but this is really an incredible car. Full climate control in the rear center console that folds up, so it is a 5-passenger if you want it to be. All right, and we are back to the Audi S4. I'm gonna do some paint work to it. That is bugging me. I don't want to sell it like that. It's a pretty easy fix. We can paint this hood. I have the cover to the battery tray. What is difficult though is finding the paint code. So typically on cars, well, it's been a couple hours later. It is 9:00 p.m. in the evening. Kids are in bed. I've watched my kids' sports. Now I'm back at my shop because this is when it's good to get my painting done. I can paint in here in peace and quiet and nobody bothers me. It's nice. It's like good for my mind. So the front bumper for the Audi S4 is prepped. All the body work is done. The hood, also prepped. That Bondo, that body filler is not from us. So this hood has obviously already been repainted, and that is actually the spots where the clear coat was faded. We also found some body work here as well on the rear trunk lid. I'm just gonna try to make this car better. Now, As you can see, I am not a professional painter, auto body technician, whatever, what have you. I'm gonna try to do my best. I'm gonna show you how you could do it in your own garage, all right? Yeah, there are gonna be body guys that tell me I'm doing it wrong. Yes, I'm probably doing it wrong, but I'm doing it right enough. Right enough, I think. So it's gonna be decent. When I'm finished, it's gonna be a heck of a lot better than it was, and then we can try, and then we can put it back together and see how it looks and see if it's worth bringing to the auction, see if it's worth selling. In here, you'll also see my Audi S6 V8 twin turbo. This is a 3,200 pound car, twin turbo V8. Whole video on this. I'm not gonna give you any teasers, any spoilers. It's amazing. You should know about this incredible car. This car, same color as this car. So I'm just gonna hit a couple spots that I wasn't too happy with, like wear and tear from road use. There, and then right here. I'm gonna hit those spots while I'm in paint. So we have a single stage matched to the paint code of the vehicle. I'm gonna spray it on the hood, on the bumper, and I'm gonna try to not get overspray on everything in my garage. While we're at it, if you've seen my prison cell of an office, not no mo, because my office is now a real presentable office. This is gonna be my like showroom-ish area right here. Let's turn the lights on because the LEDs are really fantastic. Let me see here. Yeah, this is like, I can put a car, a couple motorcycles here. I got like a nice presentable office. My favorite part, above the epoxy, you'll see flying wheels, and then I put a clear coat epoxy over it. It's not done, but it's nearing the finish line, which is really, really cool. Let's paint those cars so we can get them ready for the auction. I have a problem here. This is clearly a black on here. When I look up the paint code, it says graphite gray metallic, which, I don't know, maybe they'll match, maybe they won't, but that doesn't look the same. That looks very gray. That looks very black. We will see. All right, I think I have this going for me. After laying some primer down on the spots, I think having a black base is gonna be in my favor, and I can just dust silver, it's supposed to be black, over it. We'll see how it comes out. I really don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It does actually look like it's kind of darkening up. Now, it's way darker than it was when I first started mixing it. We will find out. All right, problemo. I love the color, love it. That is not the same color as that though. And just so you know, like my S6 is now silver, which sucks. I just dusted it on real light right there. There is no black in that. And it's 10 o'clock at night. So I'm gonna have to make my own paint to hope it matches that color. That is a high metallic black. I have a gloss black here and the metallic silver. I'm gonna try to make my own. We'll see tomorrow morning. We'll see how close I actually get. I'm gonna keep trying and adding until I get a high metallic black. This is like, every video I do gets worse and worse. Embarrassed of myself, but hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna be a problem solver. I'm not getting the correct paint and I gotta get this thing done for Thursday. I might have done it first try. Watch this, ready? So here's the black right here. Here is metallic black. I might have got it first try. Let's go see. I will be mind blown if this is close. Oh my goodness, I'm a freaking magician. We'll see when it lays on, who knows, but better than it would have been. Here's the before, here is the after, that's the difference. We will see. Before, after, first coat. Much better. Look at this, two of the same product, two different colors. Look at how they're reacting. You can see them moving with each other. It's definitely gonna react on the hood and the bumper where I sprayed, for sure. All right, it's the next day. The Audi S4 is finished, or is it? Check this out. I want to show you what happened. Going down. So, Rasul's learning. I can't even blame him. It's not his fault. He's here to learn. I blame myself because I obviously didn't teach him well enough. He prepped the hood. He used the DA sander, the dual action sander to sand the hood of the car. And then after that, he hand sanded it with the heavy grit sandpaper and dug in like freaking tiger claws into the hood. So I don't know if you can see it. I can see it. There are scratches everywhere. Now, a DA sander will small, slow scuffs. Hand sanding a car like this and like this with sandpaper is a huge no-no. So I didn't know he did that, and then I saw it. I had him DA sand the paint even lower to try to get those scratches out. Didn't do it. So then I sprayed last night high, like I tried to build the paint up high on the hood, try to like fill it in, like self-leveling. So 3 coats of like dust on the hood, 2 coats of heavy on the hood. The paint matches beautifully. It laid on beautifully, but I'm hoping you can see what I can see are all of these scratches. Like now the car, for 12 inches of clear coat that was faded, it looks like the car has been in a complete wreck, front end wreck, because now the bumper's painted, the hood's painted, gigantic scratches in the hood. I'm done. Sometimes this is just exhausting. Like, this car has the best of me. 2 in a row. The Crossfire and this car just have the best of me. I can't do anything about it. I don't know. Tell me what to do in the video, in the comments. I'm like exhausted from this car. Not to mention the top still doesn't work. And I found like a little bit of an oil leak down here. I mean, I can invest thousands and thousands into this thing. It's not gonna make it worth thousands and thousands more. I've done what I could. It's better than it was, but it's still not great. It would have been better not raising my hand. That's what happens. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You just have to win more than you lose. I've won 10 more times since I bought this car. This one's a loser. Or am I the loser? Why is this scratched right here? I think I'm the loser here. Thanks for watching. Help support me by a thumbs up. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all later. Adios. Wow, the next day, it's auction day. I should have brought this to the auction. I mean, it would have been super sneaky. That is not my style. But this is what people do. They call it rainy day cars. This Audi looks incredible, being just a little bit wet, and you can see the dusting on the paint cover, the scratch and swirl marks. The bumper looks good. Rasul, you did a great job putting it back together. This thing probably was like, would have been the perfect day to have this thing sold at the auction. All-wheel drive, S4, super, super clean. But I didn't. I dropped the ball on that one. And to be honest with you, I'd wipe the car off anyway. People, you know, whatever. You don't want to be that dealer. But it does look darn good today.